The most awkward moment in any boardroom is when the CFO slams their fist on the table and yells at the marketing leader for how much money they're spending. And the marketing leader says, no, I promise this is going to turn into pipeline. Let me keep running all these paid ads or spending all this money on SEO or flying all of our salespeople to these various events. And it's a tricky situation for that CMO because they're not going to want to show up to the next board meeting with nothing to show for it. I think the relationship between CMOs and CFOs needs to tighten, but it really falls on the marketer to be able to properly explain why their efforts are actually moving the needle in a short enough time frame that the CFO can get behind the expenditure. And marketers know, if you give us time and you give us effort and you let us run some campaigns, we're going to be able to drive pipeline. But oftentimes when budgeting gets tight, things are going to get cut from the marketing budget if the marketer can't articulate what they're doing. So what I would really recommend marketers do is think about how to take their total addressable market, or their ICP, and basically segment out their leads into three main categories. Here's our cold leads, here's our warm leads, and here's our hot leads. And then the goal is to show progression of those leads from those stages, cold to warm, warm to hot, and hot to closed won. And when you do that, thinking outside of traditional channel progression and more in terms of overall aggregate kind of lead scoring progression, then you can start to come up with experiments that in a short amount of time, you can show that CFO how you can be successful. One of the easiest tactics, by the way, is just de-anonymizing your website traffic to the person level to show what % of your ICP traffic is visiting your site in each of those buckets, cold, medium, and warm. And then you can show how much time they're spending on those sites over time based on your experiments. For example, if you can show that of your ICP traffic visiting your website that is warm in your warm account list, let's say it's 5%, you're able to drive up that same 5% to maybe 2x the amount of time spent on the site. Or if you're able to drive more like 7 or 8% of your website traffic ICP leads that were warm from the site, then you'll be able to tell the story to the CFO more effectively to keep ensuring that your budgets are not going to get cut.